Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers: Willow wants to save Michael's marriage after Drew and Nina's dirty secret is revealed. General Hospital spoilers hint that Willow Corinthos may have a change of heart about her future and the guy she truly belongs with. Willow let herself to be swept up in the illusion of being with Drew Quartermaine, but he is not the caring and honest man she believes he is. If Drew was truly a nice person, he would not have dared to cross the line with his nephew's wife. Drew also urged Willow to exploit Michael's condition as a bargaining chip, therefore he's been constantly villainous throughout this tale. The saddest aspect is that Willow regards Drew as if he were a pillar of honesty. Willow has a nasty surprise when she discovers Drew was sleeping with Nina Reeves behind her back. Drew's silence over hooking up with Willow's mother is unacceptable. Nina shares some blame for her silence, but Drew is the one who wants to construct a love future with Willow. Will Drew's dreams be crushed once his shady secret is exposed? Will Willow turn against Drew once she finds he's not the man she imagined him to be? It would be interesting to see if Willow eventually realized she made a huge mistake by ending her relationship with Michael. Willow may be able to resolve to save her marriage and rebuild her family once Michael has recovered from his injuries. Of course, GH spoilers indicate that things may become problematic owing to pregnant Sasha Gilmore Corbin, who is carrying Michael's kid. However, Michael would never have slept with Sasha if Willow had not fallen for Drew. Perhaps in the end, Willow will recommend a blank slate and hope Michael is willing to try to work things out between them. Michael still loves Willow, so he may be open to it in the future. Since Chad Duell may not be leaving the ABC serial for good, there is potential for speculation regarding another chapter for Willow and Michael. Do you believe Michael and Willow can restore their romance at some point? According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow may be horrified by Drew after learning about his Nina romance, so we'll keep you updated on her reaction to the terrible news. Tracy seeks savage revenge, leaks Willow and Drew's sleaze tape. According to General Hospital spoilers, Tracy Quartermaine's quest for vengeance will cause chaos in the coming weeks. We know Drew got her arrested last week for attempting to keep Amelia and Wiley away from Willow. He used his newfound political position to obtain a court order ensuring Willow had custody of the children while Michael recovered from his medical crisis. Carly had already attempted to defeat Willow by obtaining the children's custody. Willow, however, outperformed her by leveraging her medical proxy status, according to General Hospital spoilers. She exploited her influence to deny Carly and Sonny access to Michael at the hospital. This prompted Sonny and Carly to rush over to the Q mansion to retrieve the children for Willow. Tracy, on the other hand, obstructed their progress. She refused to allow anyone remove the children from their house. Drew later obtained a court order to take the children away. When Tracy refused to hand over her custody, she was handcuffed and carried out of the mansion. She refused to reveal the location of the children, despite the fact that they were clearly no longer at the estate. Later, Jason Morgan came in to save everyone and negotiated a win-win solution. He took Willow back to the gatehouse so she could live with the kids without having to leave their home. Oh, and stick close to Monica. Tracy, on the other hand, prohibited Drew from entering the mansion or coming into contact with Michael's children. But we don't think Tracy will stop with just banning Drew. She will definitely avenge her arrest. Willow is shown in the GH Weekly Preview gazing down at her cell phone screen in amazement as Chase asks her what's wrong. What might she be gazing at? Could Tracy have leaked the video of Willow and Drew playing in the children's nursery? Drew is now a public figure and has a seat. If Tracy publishes the tape and it becomes a big topic, Drew's political career may be finished. GH spoilers: Carly runs into Charlotte in Germany. Will she bring Lulu's daughter home? According to General Hospital spoilers, the ending of the episode on Tuesday, January 28th caught fans completely off guard. While Jack Brennan was relaxing at the hotel spa in Baden-Baden, Germany, Valentine Cassadine entered, preparing to strangle him. As startling as it was, the fact that Carly Spencer is so close to her niece, Charlotte Cassadine, is even more intriguing. Will Carly make Lulu Spencer's day by bringing her kid back home? General Hospital spoilers, Carly Spencer's run-in with Charlotte Cassadine. GH spoilers indicate that, while Baden-Baden is a small town, will it be small enough for Carly to run into Charlotte? This is the land of soap operas. If the two were in Los Angeles, they'd also be very likely to run into each other. Could Charlotte be staying in the same hotel as Carly and Brennan? Will they run into each other in the corridor or in the spa? GH spoilers, can Carly talk some sense into Charlotte Cassadine? While it appears that Carly will be in Germany for an extended period of time, she will eventually return to Port Charles. Does Carly run into Charlotte as early as this week, or just before she leaves for home? Will she have time to talk to Charlotte and maybe persuade her to leave her life on the run with her papa for something more stable by returning home? Then again, there's always the possibility that Valentine will be apprehended by Brennan and taken back to the WSB headquarters in Port Charles. Carly will gladly accompany Charlotte back to her homeland to guarantee that she is safely restored to her mother. In either case, Carly has a decent chance of becoming Lulu's hero by bringing Charlotte back to Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers, Willow and Chase hit the sheets. Is it a miracle pregnancy after a one-night stand? According to General Hospital teasers, ex-partners Willow Corinthos and Harrison Chase have recently been in each other's orbits. Fans might sense trouble in paradise looming over their different romances, so could they be planning a reunion or possibly a one-night stand? Is it possible for Willow to become pregnant again? General Hospital sources Willow Tate and Harrison Chase get caught up in emotion. GH sources indicate that Willow is about to discover that Drew Quartermaine, the man she broke her marriage for, isn't as dreamy as she thinks he is. Fans know that while Drew was kissing Willow, he was also hitting the sheets with her mother, Nina Reeves, and when the truth is revealed, Willow will be disgusted by what she did to him. She'll also be extremely guilty about what she put Michael Corinthos through. Meanwhile, Chase's wife, Brooklyn Quartermaine Chase, has her own secret. BLQ is hiding her teen pregnancy, which makes sense given that no one else seems to know except her mother, Lois Cerullo. Nonetheless, Chase will undoubtedly feel cheated about everything when the truth is revealed. Could Willow learn about Drew after Chase learns about BLQ? Could the two spend the night together, as Michael and Sasha Corbin did, getting caught up in bevies and emotions? GH spoilers, Harrison Chase's miracle baby. As viewers learned during the Monday, January 27th episode, Chase appears to be unable to father children, which is tragic on so many levels. Still, this is the land of soaps, so everything is possible, right? Chase and Willow may end up in bed together and prefer to keep their one night together private. But what if Willow magically became pregnant? Chase would want to be responsible for the child, even if Willow disagreed. Would this cement a reunion between the two? What about his marriage to Brooklyn, and how would she react to him having a baby with another woman? Do you think Willow and Chase will hook up? Please share your ideas below. Can General Hospital's Carly and Brennan stand the test of time? Brennan has been taught to lie and hide secrets. Is this something that could end his and Carly's relationship, or will she finally accept it? On General Hospital, Carly and Brennan kissed for the first time. Sparks flew between them from the moment they met, and it appears that Carly and Brennan are meant to be. However, other people, including Jason and Felicia, have cautioned her to avoid Brennan. They informed her that nothing positive could emerge from their connection. Worse, her pals suspect that the spy has a personal motive for her. But Carly is headstrong and follows her instincts whenever the mood hits her. She sure loves her bad boys. Does anyone remember Franco? Who was the repentant serial killer that everyone in Port Charles despised? Carly became so deeply engaged with him that they almost married, despite everyone's warnings that he was bad for her. In the end, it was Carly's infidelity with Sonny that drove Franco to end their relationship. Carly's track record with males is not particularly excellent. Some of her previous lovers include drunkard AJ, drug lord Lorenzo Alcazar, mobster Johnny Zaccara, and corporate raider Jax. While her relationship with Jax was arguably the healthiest she's ever had, she always tends to choose bad boys, and Brennan fits perfectly in. Is there an agenda? Even Anna has cautioned that Brennan is constantly up to no good. However, in a recent episode, Brennan opened up to her about a friend who died on a previous assignment, and his emotion was genuine. He appeared vulnerable as he conveyed his innermost emotions, and Carly soaked it up. Could he have been fooling her, or were his emotions genuine? It may be suggested that because he is a spy skilled in the art of lying and concealing secrets, their relationship may be unable to endure this. But Carly was ready to admit that during her many encounters with ex-Sonny, she couldn't always share facts of his business for her own protection. So she should be able to do the same for Brennan, unless he's working with the wicked Sidwell, who is boldly strutting around Port Charles right now. Only then will they have a chance for happiness. Brooklyn Quartermain had always kept secrets, but this one weighed more than the others. She had concealed the facts beneath layers of self-preservation and terror, convinced herself that silence was the best option. But now, as she stood on the verge of disclosing her past to Harrison Chase, the man she had promised to share everything with, she recognized that some secrets would not stay concealed forever. Years later, the memory of that terrible day continued to haunt her. She had been young, afraid, and completely unprepared to become a mother. Her job goals, volatile relationships, and the complex web of familial expectations had all contributed to the difficult decision she had made. Giving up her child had seemed like the only way forward, but the guilt had never left her. She had convinced herself that she had done the right thing by placing her child with a loving family capable of providing the stability she lacked at the time. However, the anguish lingered, a dull and chronic wound that no amount of achievement or love could heal. Now, standing in their dimly lit bedroom, she watched Chase comb through documents on his desk, his brow wrinkled in concentration. She liked how he tackled everything in life with such honesty and determination, yet it made her stomach churn with fear. Will he look at her the same way once she tells him the truth? Will he still love her knowing she had concealed something so important from him? She cleared her throat to get his attention. "Chase, there's something I need to tell you." He looked up, noticing the sincerity in her tone. "Of course. What's going on?" Brooklyn hesitated and wrung her hands together. How can one even begin to discuss a topic like this? She had prepared this discussion in her thoughts 1,000 times, but now that the time had come, the words felt foreign to her tongue. Before we were together, I had a baby," she finally admitted, her voice scarcely audible. Chase blinked, his expression changing from uncertainty to shock. "A baby?" She nodded and felt a lump develop in her throat. "I gave the baby up for adoption. No one knows, not even my closest friends. Only my mother and—" The woman paused. "Dante." Chase's expression hardened. "Dante?" Brooklyn exhaled shakily. It was his child. Silence blanketed the room, dense and stifling. Chase stood up slowly, his hands resting on his hips, processing what she had just spoken. She could see the sorrow in his eyes, the sting of betrayal setting in. "So, let me get this straight," he remarked, his tone measured. "You had a child with Dante, gave that child up for adoption, and never thought to tell me?" Brooklyn felt her chest tightening. "I was young, Chase. I wasn't ready to be a mother. And by the time we got together, it felt like it was too late to bring it up. I didn't know how to tell you." He gave a bitter laugh and shook his head. "You didn't know how to tell me? Brooklyn, we're married. We're supposed to trust each other with everything. This isn't some minor detail, you had a child. And you kept it from me." Tears filled her eyes. "I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you." Chase ran his hand through his hair, his displeasure palpable. "Did Dante know the whole time?" Brooklyn swallowed hard. "Yes. He helped me through it. And I think Sonny knew, too." That information appeared to send Chase over the line. "So half of Port Charles was in on this except for me?" His voice broke with anguish. "Dante, Sonny, Lois, hell, who else? Were you ever planning to tell me, or did you think you could just pretend this never happened?" Brooklyn moved forward, wanting to make him understand. "I wanted to tell you, but I was scared. I didn't know how you'd react. And now I realize I should have told you the moment we started talking about having kids of our own." Chase inhaled deeply, attempting to steady himself. And what about that? Were you planning to have children with me and just keep this buried forever? What if that child came looking for you one day? Were you planning to lie then, too? Brooklyn lowered her eyes. She had considered that prospect more times than she wanted to admit. What if her child, who is now growing up someplace out there, decides to find her? What if they demanded answers she wasn't prepared to provide? I don't know, she said. But I do know that keeping this from you is wrong, and I am so sorry. Chase looked away, his jaw clenched. I don't know if I can do this, Brooklyn. I don't know if I can stay in a marriage where honesty isn't a given. Panic overtook her. Please, don't say that. I love you, and I don't want to lose you. He let out a deep sigh, the weight of her confession bearing down on him. I need time to think. I need space. Brooklyn's heart crushed as she saw him grab his jacket and rush toward the door. As it closed behind him, she slumped onto the bed, sobbing uncontrollably. She'd finally spoken the truth, but at what cost? Meanwhile, across town, Dante sat in his room, gazing at an old image he had concealed for years. It was the only link he had to the child he had never known or held. Brooklyn had revealed the news to Chase, and there was no going back. Will the truth destroy everything? Was there still hope for healing? The presence of the dangerous and enigmatic figure prowling in the hospital corridors has cast a long and gloomy shadow over town. His power to instill dread in the hearts of even the most formidable individuals is undeniable, and his reach is considerably greater than many think. As the village mourns the recent and devastating losses, another possible victim may be on the way, one whose fate could destroy the delicate hope of someone just starting to recover joy. The mastermind's reign has already left a lasting impression on all who have crossed his way. Two recent and devastating losses are evidence of his lethal influence, as they were taken before their time via an insidious and invisible way. The drug employed ensured that there would be no resistance or warning, just silence before the inevitable. One narrowly avoided the same terrible end, thanks to sheer luck and the prompt intervention of a trained doctor. The message was clear: nobody was safe. With another life hanging in the balance, the question remains, will he be next? The young athlete's life had always revolved around the game. It defined him, molded him, and gave him meaning. But a single moment on the field, a collision that should have resulted in another minor injury, has put him in a state of terror. Confined to a hospital bed, the uncertainty of his future dominates his thoughts. Will he ever play again? Will he ever feel the surge of adrenaline, hear the crowd yell, or know the joy of victory? The only solace he gets comes from a sympathetic and wise surgeon, whose words provide a glimmer of hope that perhaps not everything is lost. However, an invisible danger waits outside of his hospital room, unrelated to his injury. For a woman whose life has been a perpetual struggle between love and grief, the prospect of history repeating itself is terrible. She has previously experienced the agony of losing someone who meant everything to her, and the scars it left behind have yet to heal. Just as she begins to let down her guard and allow herself to hope again, the fear of losing another enters her life. The thought that fate would be so cruel as to take another person she has grown to care about disturbs her to her core. However, fear can either paralyze or propel. And if she finds herself on the verge of another catastrophe, she must decide whether to back away or take the risk. The unseen horror that stalks the town has already moved. Every action he does is deliberate, and every target is carefully chosen. His tactics leave no trace, no reason for suspicion, only sadness and unanswered questions. Will his next target fall as effortlessly as the others? Will the cycle of losses continue, or will someone stop him before the darkness claims another victim? Will Brooklyn confess? Today's General Hospital spoilers show that Port Charles is full with mysteries, but will any facts be revealed? Brooklyn feels compelled to come clean, Dante opens up to Chase, Maxie counsels Lulu, Alexis reaches a breaking point, Jason lays out the facts for Sasha, and Carly requests a favor. Brooklyn is concerned that the baby she gave up as a teenager may be the only kid she ever has now that Chase is unable to conceive. She's kept that aspect of her life hidden for so long, but she now fears it's time to tell her husband the truth. It is your choice, Lois suggests. Brooklyn states, I need to tell him. She doesn't want any secrets to ruin their new marriage. Meanwhile, Chase is at the gym with Dante, listening to his friend unburden himself. Dante informed Lulu that he does not blame her for Sam's death, but while he is relieved she has emerged from her coma, her presence has certainly complicated his life right now. Every time I look at Lulu, Dante tells Chase at the gym, I'm gonna think of Sam. Speaking of Lulu, she's speaking up about her own sentiments about reclaiming her life at the expense of Sam's. But Maxie will not let her friend put herself in that kind of situation. Feeling guilty is gonna get you nowhere, she tells you. Alexis is still devastated by the news that Sam was murdered, and distracting herself with work isn't cutting it. I'm not sure what to do, she exclaims as she snatches a stack of papers off her desk and tosses them aside. Can Diane persuade her pal to back down? Jason had assured Sasha that he will not tell anyone that Michael is the father of the baby she is expecting, but it appears that he is determined to assist her in other ways despite her concerns. I will back off the second Michael tells me, he says. But, given that Michael is currently in a coma in a German clinic suffering from burns, it could take a while. Carly saved his life, and Jack thanked her with a passionate kiss. It appears that she needs to clear things up. I need to ask you a favor, she says. Is she going to ask Brennan to keep this a secret or back off completely? The twist that might save General Hospital's Geo storyline. Dante may not be Joe's father after all. The truth about Joe's birth parents is set to shock Port Charles, but this twist could make things much more intriguing on General Hospital. Brooklyn's baby daddy. Since the Bensonhurst group discussed their summer camp experiences, Cody has only remembered a never-before-told romance between Dante and Brooklyn. The couple had a summer romance, which was strangely not reported when Brooklyn was later recruited by Carly to break up Dante and Lulu. Now that a hidden pregnancy and adoption have been added to the mix, it's simple to infer Brooklyn became pregnant with Dante's child as a teenager and Lois arranged for adoption. Insert cousin Geo. Lois has made it clearly evident that Geo is Brooklyn's son, but his father's identity remains unknown. Could it be? Sure, everything points to Dante as Joe's father, from his relationship with Brooklyn to Joe's secret desire to become a cop. But what if Brooklyn cheated on Dante at summer camp with none other than Cody, his best friend? It would likely explain why Cody remembers summer camp so vividly, as well as Brooklyn's demeanor at the time. Furthermore, Geo resembles Cody far more than Dante. If Cody is Joe's father, Emma's romance would be over before it even started. Geo would be Mac's grandson, while Emma is Robert's granddaughter, making them second cousins. And, while Cody's relationship with Sasha has ended, having a son could be beneficial. Do you believe Cody may be Joe's father? Please let us know in the comments. Willow is on the verge of a life-changing epiphany, and there are whispers of uncertainty all around. She'd let herself fall into the soothing fantasy of a future with Drew, believing him to be a dependable and trustworthy companion. But when the curtain begins to lift, she realizes that Drew is not the noble and kind man she had envisioned. If he genuinely possessed the ethics she always admired, he would never have jeopardized his own family ties by becoming involved with his nephew's wife. Drew's deceptions are deeper than Willow ever thought. When he pressured her to use Michael's precarious health for personal gain, a dark seed of mistrust sprang in her heart. Nonetheless, she dismissed it, refusing to heed the warning indications. Now, the shadows of treachery become darker as a harsh reality creeps into her world. Drew has been covertly engaged with Nina, the same woman Willow has struggled to trust. The revelation is a dagger to the heart, destroying any remaining faith she had in him. Willow's perspective of Drew is shattered not just by his secrecy, but also by his blatant hypocrisy. He, the man who had demanded honesty and transparency from her, had been spinning his own twisted web of lies. And Nina, her own mother, had contributed to this treachery by choosing silence over the truth. But Drew's betrayal hurts the most. He had dared to dream of a future with Willow while keeping a scandalous secret. Willow is forced to confront the echoes of her previous decisions as the weight of her falsehood weighs heavily on her. Did she make a big mistake by turning her back on Michael? Had she abandoned the love and security they had built together in order to start a new chapter? The thought gnaws at her, a constant agony that refuses to go away. Michael had previously been her rock, the man who had supported her through her worst times. Could she reverse the damage she'd done? However, the route back to Michael is not without obstacles. Sasha's pregnancy casts a lengthy shadow on any possibility of reunion. Michael's upcoming parenthood is an unavoidable fact, a bond that will forever bind him to another woman. But Willow can't shake the feeling that none of this would have occurred if she hadn't let herself be carried away by Drew's hollow promises. Her actions forced Michael into Sasha's arms, and her betrayal shattered the core of their relationship. Perhaps the only way to move forward is to start over. To approach Michael, express her regrets, and hope that, in time, he would find it in his heart to restore what has been broken. The love they once shared is still present beneath the surface, frail but not lost. Willow is willing to battle for the opportunity to rebuild. Willow braces herself for the reckoning that lies ahead as the storm of disclosures rages around her. Drew's falsehoods have broken her perception of the man she thought she knew, leaving her standing in the ashes of her decisions. The path to redemption will not be simple, but one reality is certain: she cannot continue to live in the shadow of lies. It's unclear whether Michael is eager to meet her halfway, but Willow is finally ready to confront the truth, no matter the cost. General Hospital spoilers: Jason's revenge on Sidwell goes wrong. Is Anna forced to arrest him for crossing the line? According to General Hospital spoilers, Jason Morgan is plotting retribution after Anna Devane informed him that Jen Sidwell is now living in Port Charles. Jason realizes it's no coincidence that Sidwell arrived in town just before Sonny Corinthos' penthouse exploded. Jason witnessed Michael Corinthos being caught in the crossfire and almost losing his life, and he isn't willing to let it go. General Hospital spoilers: Anna Devane's warning to Jason Morgan. Spoilers remind viewers that Anna advised Jason not to take matters into his own hands. Nevertheless, Jason is far too upset to let this go. After all, Jason has been traumatized by watching his nephew, who has become more like a son to him over the years, go through all of his pain, and nothing is more cathartic for the hitman than striking back. But if he goes rogue and attacks Sidwell, will he face any consequences? Spoilers: Anna Devane would be forced to follow the book. Depending on what Jason does to Sidwell, his plan may fail. Will anyone watch how Stone Cold deals with Jens? Could a cop or Anna herself catch Jason in the act of committing a crime? Devane would have no choice but to follow the law and arrest her friend. If this happens, Jason's worst dread of not being present for Danny Morgan will come true. Going to jail would leave Danny without a mother or father. Plus, because Jason and Sasha Corbin are also romantically involved, this could scare her into staying away from Stone Cold for her own and her unborn child's safety. The only silver lining in this situation is that Jason has Diane Miller as an attorney, who will most likely find a way to get him off the hook, but that doesn't mean he won't face some mayhem and drama along the road. Could Jason face jail time for retaliating against Sidwell? General Hospital fans are concerned about Kirsten Storms. Many General Hospital fans are once again concerned about Kirsten Storms. General Hospital fans are concerned about Kirsten Storms. That's because the actress, well known for her portrayal as Maxie Jones, has been unusually silent lately, and her fans and following are naturally curious as to why. Kirsten is the type of girl who enjoys sharing behind-the-scenes images of her life, but she has been unusually silent for the past several months, which has caused a lot of concern among her fans. But then again, Kirsten has had a lot going on in her life recently. She is a single working mother who is also struggling with a variety of issues behind the scenes, including the Los Angeles County wildfires that ravaged the area earlier this month. In an April 2022 interview with Maurice Bernard on his YouTube series State of Mind, she admitted to being bipolar and coping with a lot of anxiety in her life. She described it this way: "I get frequent anxiety attacks. I have bipolar 1. I easily become agitated over things. I felt agitated, scared, and stressed. I'm preoccupied with being on time. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I arrived exactly on time at the building." General Hospital news: what's going on with Kirsten Storms? I obsessively worry about that type of stuff. I've experienced panic attacks about things like that. My psychiatrist attempted to modify one of my meds at one point, and I experienced an unfavorable reaction. Furthermore, there was speculation that she had a hidden boyfriend. She posted a snapshot of pro MMA fighter Zach Krasinski visiting her at the General Hospital studios and posing next to her portrait. There is conjecture that they may have split up, but Kirsten has not confirmed or refuted the report. Kirsten Storms has yet to comment on the subject, but we will keep you updated as new information becomes available. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.